Hi, and welcome to our course, COM 251, Small Group Communication with Professor Crystal Green. I'm just setting up a short introductory tutorial video. I know that a few of you have emailed saying that you've never taken an online course before, never mind even taking a summer course. So I'm doing this to hopefully reduce some anxiety if you happen to have some, to orient you to all of the tools that are over here on the sidebar and to hopefully clarify potential questions you might have. So I'll start with the top down. So we're at our homepage. Welcome to COM 251. The type of course, my name, fancy picture, just to catch your eye. In announcements, which is the microphone here, if I was to post an announcement, you would see that there are announcements listed below. When I do this, I also CC your email. Usually announcements are for things that are time sensitive, that I need to respond to quickly, and I want to make sure that you actually receive it. So that's announcements. Messages is here as well. Since I just set up the class about an hour ago, there's nothing in here. But if you were wanting to do something similar to an email, which I'd prefer you use this, right? So you would compose a message, you'd write to whom, right? You would pick from students, etc., or me. You would click send CC if you felt the need to the person's email, subject line you type in, as well as the message. And then if you want to add an attachment, you could do that and then hit send. So basically, this is Sakai's version, our course's version of an email. Again, I prefer everything to be done in Sakai, so I prefer you message me here. The syllabus is also attached, I thought, but maybe just kidding. Anyway, I'll have to post that up. So the syllabus will be here for you to view once I release that. There's a calendar in the course as well, which I will input due dates for assignments. So basically, your assignments for the weekly group paper project are due always on Saturdays by 11:55 p.m. Your response to your peers' papers are always due in the forums under the paper listing with a comment by Tuesday at 11:55 p.m. And then you have 4 quizzes in the course, and of course, I'll be sure to enter in the date and time of those to flag it on the calendar for you. In terms of assignments, as I mentioned in my welcome video about myself and the course, I listed all of them here. So they're already here for the entire duration from May 25th to July 20th. So what you would do is click on the first one, Course Introduction. I have something in here talking about what it is that is due, where to submit it, and that's here for you. You will be submitting a weekly group paper project. I only need one person from the group to submit it in the forums section. However, each of you individually will be posting your own copy of that group's work here. So what you would do is submit by pasting and or adding an attachment. You would just choose the file, add the attachment by browsing, and you would hit submit and it would go to me only. So in this assignments forum, again, I need only one group member to post to the forum for the entire class to read the group paper. So there'll be 4 groups. There should be 4 posts, one from group 1, one paper from group 2, one paper from group 3, and the last from group 4. However, for homework to be counted, and for accountability for each person in the group, if you in fact help participate and work on the paper, you would submit it here in assignments by the due date. And again, these would be submitted to me by Saturday's 11:55 p.m. So again, the list is here with all the assignments. Next is tests and quizzes. I haven't uploaded that yet, so that's empty, but I'll be doing that right before they're due. The forum section that I was talking about is here. So in terms of the first assignment that I just showed you in course introductions, I have a description of what that is. I'm kind of telling you what the assignment is. I found a sample online of a student giving an introduction, which was decent. I'd actually like to see more than this, but it gives you an idea of how to brainstorm. And then you would post your self introductions here. I started mine, right? So you have mine up here, picture of me, talks a little bit about who I am, academically, etc. And then you would all post yours as well. Part of this assignment, beyond just posting uh, information, will be posting a picture of yourself. Don't trick us with a friend's picture. Don't trick us with a meme that you love. I would like to see your face so I know who I'm corresponding with. Um, so again, this assignment is a couple folds. So you would post your intro, make sure that your Sakai has a picture of you, and then I'm looking for you to reply and respond to one another. So if I was going to reply to myself, which would be weird, but hey, whatever, you'd reply and type whatever it is that you want to here, and then hit post. Then I'm going to cancel that because that's odd. Back in forums in the beginning are the other weekly group presentations that I mentioned. So course intros will all be housed here under that gray bar. Going forward, the remaining posts for the weekly group presentations would be here. So 6-1 is your first one. Please label your paper submission with your group number and chapter. So for example, if you're in your group 1, you're doing chapter 1, you would post that here. And I only need, as I mentioned, one person per group to post in this section. I don't want all of you doing it. Just under 6-1, chapter 1, there should be group 1, chapter 1, group 2, chapter 2, group 3, chapter 2, etc. posted here. Moving on from forums, we have from the main bar, the class is divided into weeks. So I have week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way down to week 10. So there's 10 weeks here. In week 1, you will see a plethora of things. So under week 1, content overview, you'll see just what we're doing as a highlight for the week. If you go back, it lists the learning objectives for the week. So I want you to understand about the tools, which I'm showing you over here on the sidebar. I want you to understand what the Start Here button is, etc. And I'm looking for you to look over the syllabi, the policies, the requirements, the grading criteria, and what it is that I account as far as participation online. So basically expectations. And then the last portion in this week, which you'll find, is the to-do list, which is redundant in assignments, but I don't think that's a bad thing. So for week 1, the to-do list is here, looking at the Start Here button, etc. Talks a bit about face-to-face versus online. If you go to these hyperlinks, if you're interested in learning about it. Again, for students, if this is your first time with an online class, this stuff might be really important. For others who have taken plenty, feel free to skip it. Your reading, I want you to look at the syllabus. I'll be posting a participation rubric, which I want you to look over. And then I want you to, again, write your intros, post them in forums, and then respond to one another with at least responding to 4 of the 12 students enrolled in the class. All right. Now going back with a slow browser, I've done the same for every single week. So this week, week 2, on here, we'd be looking at chapter 1. As I mentioned, you should buy the textbook. It's required. You'll need it to pass the class. So the readings are to be done by Mondays, 11:55 p.m. The weekly group presentation should be posted, as I mentioned, Saturdays by 11:55 p.m. in forums, and as well as in assignments by each person. And then I'm looking for you to respond to those paper weekly group presentations by Tuesday at 11:55. And these responses could be questions you have about something you read in the paper. These responses should include the textbook. These responses should also highlight maybe outside things going on in the world, if you're socially aware of what's happening as it pertains to small group communication. They could be an outside book or a journal. So those are all ideas. I don't want you to just respond with, hey, great paper, that was really interesting. That's pretty lame. What I would like is an educated discussion and a response. oh, I kind of disagree with you. What I noticed from our textbook is, and then you cite what it is in the textbook. Could you explain more? Or you could say, hey, I really liked your portion on this part of the paper. I found a journal article that agrees with you. Or something that happened at work totally related to what I read in your paper. This is an example, and throw in a couple terms from the book. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for in terms of responses. All right, going back, as I mentioned, it happens for every one of these weeks, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're already filled out. They're already here. Um, so they're there for you. There's a grade book in here as well. So in the grade book, you will see for yourself everything that I give you scores for. So they're up there. Generally, you can expect grades returned within the week. There's a chat room in here as well where you could type a live chat and add a message. I don't really use this much, but I could if you wanted to do office hours or something. We could do it in the chat room, or I could meet you face to face, or I could figure something out with you. There's a link to the URI library as well. So as I was mentioning, I highly suggest that you include in your responses outside reflections. And those can be found through articles and databases. I highly suggest you use Academic Search Complete, this EBSCOhost, which is right here. I don't have this on me, so I'm not going to log in, but if you log in, I'm at home, so I need this. If you're at school, you don't. If you log in, you'll have access to searching the library's database. So again, when you're giving responses to papers, this Academic Search Complete EBSCOhost is a really good place to find support. So you would just type in the topic that maybe you're discussing at hand for that group's paper submission. So they might be talking about groupthink and you're really interested in that. So in this EBSCOhost, you would look up groupthink and small group communication and see what they have and pull something from there. If you are unsure how to use this, there's a chat. So the chat's offline right now, but normally it's up. So there's a chat that you could ask for help on finding topics. There's also a ton of information here. The reference and research help would help you if you gave them a call. Tell them, hey, this is what I'm looking at for a topic. I'm not really too sure of how to use a database, but my teacher's requiring journals for these weekly papers, and she wants me to use them in a response. How is it that I can find information on that? So that's a good place to look as well. All right, so that's for the library.